Hi everyone, good morning and good evening. Let us continue the session 3 on the React.js. So what we have discussed in the last session, everyone unmute yourself. I will ask a few questions, answer to the question. So what are the concepts we have seen in yesterday's session?
We have seen React.js folder structure.
Folder
Yes.
structure we have seen, JavaScript, we have seen function storages, data types, and comments, and what we'll be using in the JavaScript.
Good. So what is the purpose of a node modules? First, how to build the solution? Srujal, Teja, how to build the solution? Riyatri?
npm start.
Go to the first, you need to go to the specific folder. Where can I go? Can I able to compile inside of SRC? Can I try? Or what will happen?
No.
So we need to be compile at outside. Yes, at the project level. What is the command? npm space start. Next, how to open a solution? So by today, hope can I take it as everybody install the Node.js and everybody set up the React.js application? Still anybody having any issues in the setup issues? Okay, my application is running. Next, I need to open the application. How to open? Either you can able to go here and open directly Visual Studio Code, or else code space dot. It will open Visual Studio Code. So better to open inside of SRC. Why so? Yesterday I told na developer will be work inside of SRC folder only. There is no outside. Okay. So sometimes your computer can be a slow in a performance. If you open node modules, Visual Studio will be too burden. It will be face too burden. So better to open SRC folder. So node modules are the files which are node modules are the libraries which are used to convert your React.js application on the specific files to browser understandable JavaScript files. Next, public contains index.html. SRC. As well, your work will be start here. Now tell me what is the purpose of package? Himaja, Mukesh, Neeraj, what is the purpose of a package.json file?
Package is used to install all the dependencies of the application. Like where we can see the package in package structure.
Yeah, Mukesh, Himaja, Neeraj, any one of you, Pranav?
Versions and dependencies will be present in the package.json file.
Package.json contains the versions of your React.js applications. Those versions are nothing but dependencies of applications. Okay, and your compilation scripts, commands. Next, what is the difference between package.json and package.log.json? Samrat, you also unmute her and tell me. Package.json, package.log.json.
In package.json, it contains like specific questions.
Package and package.json having the both. The only difference is package.json contains extra node modules references. So as the name suggests, it is the name wise it is saying the locked, but it is not locked a file. You can able to change, but don't change it. It is having the reference of your node modules, where to download, and everything will be there. Okay. Next. So let us continue. So any questions from yesterday's session? Is that clear? Still anybody having any questions? Okay. So if I want to add some data, in which file I need to be add? For example, on the browser in the React.js application, which file we are using to print this name? Welcome to React.js sessions.
It's app.js.
Yes.
It is inside of app.js file. Okay. So once you change here, save the file. That's it. Already your command is running. It will be replicated. So still it is compiling. Okay. So the changes will be replicated. Is that clear? Everyone? See here. Session 3. Leave about the warnings. Don't be tolerant about this yellow marks. So if you having any red color marks, be focused on that red color mark. Okay?
Hello.
No need to worry about this one. Yeah, Neeraj, we can hear.
Sir, I was asking that the package.json and package log.json is the same, which contains everything as it is. But then what is the need of two? Means can't we?
No. Both are not same, right? What is the difference?
Extra reference files that you have told there is in
Yes.
package.json.
So package.json contain the versions and dependencies. Package log.json contains your node module specific ones. Okay, there is a total. These files are the different. See here and see here. Here you will contain the node modules and their references. What is a node module? For that, what is the node module versions and keys? Okay, everything be here. Okay. Next, once you are sitting in a project, right? So at the time, node modules will not be there. You need to be clone the code. Once you clone the code, are you able to see the node modules? No. At the time, you need to be go here again, run the command npm install. Okay. That npm install will be take your node modules. So what is the command? For example, in earlier session, we have created our React.js application. So this React.js application by default provided the node modules. Okay. So let me delete this node module. Once you are sitting in a React.js application, you need to get the code from the Git source. How to get? I will create a separate series for the Git. There you can able to get it. Okay. Once you have cloned your code, you will never get the node modules. Yes. What is the command to install the node modules?
npm install.
You need to be run npm install. Okay. See here, I'm removing this one. So if you observe, these node modules are in terms of a close to the GB. It is close to the GB. The file size are close to the GB. So that's why we should not depend on the node module. But how I will get a node module, sir? You will get a node modules because you are having the dependency files and their versions here and their references here. Okay. Once you run the npm install command, wait, let it remove. Take a heading. How to install node modules in the React.js application. Okay. So node modules will not be checked into the, will not happen a checking of the node modules into the Git. Okay, we are not doing. Why so? Already we are having the references now. It is in terms of a close to the GB. That GB much of the size we can't able to burden it. So that's why. So how to be installed? Here you need to be come to the solution. Go to the address bar. Take it. If anybody don't know about this now, take the each and every step. Go to the address bar of the your application. Type command cmd. It will open command prompt, which is the command npm. npx is only for creation of the React application. So other than that one, don't depend on that npx. All commands are npm. npm install. Press enter. This npm installer will be connected to your package.json and package.log.json. and it will install the node modules. How it will be installed? See, if you observe na, already it is there. Already it is having the references of your node modules. These modules are up to developer level to develop a code, not for the deployment level, not for in the client level. So these are having the HTTP. Yes, these will be downloaded from these specific references. So node modules are the libraries which are downloaded from these specific references. Now clear? Neeraj? Okay. Good. If you have the small or be very small questions also, no need to worry. If you think it is a basic question also, anyone, please raise it. You will become more perfect. See here, my node modules are installing. From where it is installing? So it is taking the reference of, what is the command to be run? npm install. This command will take package.json and package log.json files as reference and install the specific version of node module libraries. Okay, once you sit into the project, you need to do this one first. No need to asking about anyone about this. Okay. See here, my node modules installation is completed. Okay, sir, while installing the node modules, is that required of the network means you need to have the network. Why? So these are the downloaded files where it is downloading. Here you are having the path. See here, my package.log.json also updated. Okay, see, don't be open this one like this, but just for example, I'm saying. Okay, see here, these are the libraries downloaded. Okay, next, let me, node modules are installed, right? So let me recompile the code. First to close this one. So each and every time of node modules, you need to be recompile the code. Node modules are K. Type command. Type npm space start. Remember this point. Whenever you cloning the code, for example, two developers, Teja and Nani have been developed the code. Teja done the check-in. Okay. So Nani has to be pull the code. Once it is pulled, don't be set. You need to stop and run the solution again. But initially, whoever having the initial experience, they are confusing. See here. Now code is successfully executed. Okay. So when to run each and every time. Whenever you need to clone the code, I mean, not only from prospective, in my juniors also, they are doing that one. So I'm having this so-and-so issue, I'm struggling. No need to be struggle, stop the compilation, do run again. That's it. That is a solution. Anybody face the some issues, today you will never solve it. Tomorrow, if you come early morning, the issues will be solved. And Srikanth, did you face? So today night, if you spend for the 1 hour, 1 o'clock or night 2 o'clock, it will not start. You shut down the laptop or the desktop, come for the tomorrow to the office, it will work. What is the change? No change. Okay. Next, let us continue. So React.js, what type of design principles it will use? Separation of concerns means, what is mean by separation of concerns? Remember MVC. This point. No. MVC is for the Angular. So separation of concerns means, for example, treat like a, so you are having a so-and-so application, take it as a net banking. Everybody having the nowadays Phone Pay, Google Pay. Na? Each pay, you are having the different payment systems. For example, you want to transfer to the money to the bank account, you want to transfer to the money to the specific number. These are the specific components. Each one is the specific component. Okay. Instead of you to be developer, everything inside of the app.js file. App.js file is the responsible to the develop all the code. Instead of develop inside of the app.js file, create a separate components and consume those components here. That is called separation of concerns. So each concern is nothing but a section. Each section is nothing but a take it as a feature and a sub feature. These should be created as a separate components. So now what is mean by component? Just now I told na, each separation is each separation of concern is a section. Okay. So now tell me just what can be a component. From there you can able to try to answer.
Component is a JavaScript function or JavaScript class.
Okay, so he's saying that one Java component can be a JavaScript function or a class. Okay.
Components are building blocks.
Like we can design our application by using the component.
Yeah, those are the explanations. Yes, that is correct. Those are the explanation. So components are a, take the definition. Building blocks of React.js application. Components are building blocks of React.js application. So React.js is the component-driven application. So whoever is new to the React.js, right, simply follow me. Simply follow me. No need to worry about the sunsets. So leave that whatever the doubts in your minds. So have the doubts on the top of my concepts, whatever I'm explaining. Okay. So whatever I'm giving, simply go like this. In the first session, we know how to install the setup. In the earlier session, we have seen about the structure of our React.js applications. Now we are into the picture of building blocks of React.js application. Let us see building blocks and then we'll jump into the JavaScript. These are the tie together. Okay. So components are building blocks of React.js application. Sir, can I see that building block? Yes, you can able to see. Here app.js is a component. Index.js is a component. These are the components. Okay. So how many types of a component? Next. Types of components. How many types? Components are 2 types. Components are 2 types. What are those? Functional components. Second
Class
one is
class
components. So another name of functional component before 16.8 version is stateless components. After 16.8 it is stateful component. Okay, functional components are other name of functional components, stateless, another name of class stateful component. So you just attend for the 3 to 4 weeks of my React session, so you can able to crack an interview. Okay, most of questions will be covered within 1 month. The second month, we will fully focus on a project and the logics. I mean, it's not about after 2 weeks we'll start. No need to worry. These questions will be asked. React.js is recently people are using now. These questions only they will ask. Okay. So what is the entry component or a root component? Entry or root component in React.js is
components.
Yeah.
App.js is the root and from.
So app.js is the root component. Somebody said index.js is the root component. So here you are having the two components. What are the, which one is the root component or entry component? So root or entry means it has to serve the remaining components. So you are going to be, and for example, in your house, you are having the number of doors, which is the main door. All doors, the purpose is the same, but you have to enter from the which door. Same like here also, which is the main one. So here you are having the app.js and index.js. I will open again. See here. Observe. So hope you see. Next to observe app.js. Okay. Observe index.js. Okay. Which one is the root?
Index.js is the root.
Why? Why so?
Index.js is rendering the app root element.
So he's C, correct. Okay. If you observe in the app.js, it is having any rendering, nothing. If you observe in the index.js, it is contain the reference of the app. So index.app is loaded inside of the index. So ultimately, index.js is the root. For example, which is the root HTML file of React.js application index.html. So root component is the index.js file. Remember that one. What is that one? Index.js file is the root component of your React.js application. So it will be the entry point. So next. So after this one, which component will be loaded? App.js file. So from this app.js, the remaining components will be loaded. So let us see the architecture of your React.js application flow. So draw this React.js application flow. You will never forget in your life how this application will be. So first, you are going to have the specific domain. For example, www.gmail.com. So what it will be load? It will open the specific Gmail world. So why Gmail only? Why it is not opening so on so now? If you go on the entire world, the domain names are the unique. Inside of the entire world, the domain names are the unique. What is mean by domain? So whatever you are load inside of the browser on the top www.soandso.com is the domain. Okay, Amazon, www.amazon.com is the domain. www.yahoo.com is the domain. Okay, so these domains are the unique. So once user is requested, so the request will be go to the specific domain. So in that specific domain, our React.js application is there. In that specific domain, our React.js application is there. So first it will be called index.html page. The request from the domain will be handled by the index.html page. So in my application, it is calling to the so-and-so API and then index.html is came. So I'm explaining the React.js application. Yes, it can able to have the direct or indirect invocation also. We don't need to worry. The first and foremost file is the index.html. Now tell me, what is the next file? What is the next file?
Index.js.
Index.js. Just now we discussed, na? Index.js file. Next file is app.js. Ultimately, next file is the app.js. So index.js and app.js are the components. Okay. Next, from here you are having the specific components as per the your application feature. So this is my one component. It can be one more component. It can be one more component. Next, these components require the data. Na? So where is my data? So here is my data. This is my database. It is containing the data. So how I can able to connect? See here, I am giving the exact real time case for this one. So this is your component 1. This is your component 2. This is your component 3. Okay, component 1, component 2, component 3. So whatever this component, it is the class component or functional component, no need to worry. Okay, these components has to be get and show the information to the user. For example, I need a registration page. Take it as a component. One is the registration page. This registration page means user expecting the see the information. For example, component 2 is the some booking system. You want to see the number of tickets you booked earlier. So how you will see, you want to see the data in the form of a some grid. So component 2 can be a grid where you are having some booking system. Next, how this component will be get the data and bind it. So here, as a part of the architecture, you need to be create a separate services. See here. Still, people are directly consuming the service in the real time. That is not a correct. Okay. So this is the service 2. This is the service 1. Next, one more. This is the service 3. So all the service has to be connected to the one more common service called this is the context service. So this context service is the responsible. Okay, see here. So index.html will call this one. So this index.js will be called app.js. So based on your incoming request, either one of the component will be load. So these components will be load based on the incoming request. You want to load which page? For example, if you take some patient form, first what you need to do, patient has to book an appointment. Patient has to see the laboratory. Next, patient the process, or else take it as order system. First you need to see the items. See the item, pick item, buy the items. So based on the different stages, different components will be loaded. These component 1 can be connected to server, service 1, service 2. Sir, my component 2 and component 3 are both are the same purpose. Can I have the different service or one service? So in this situation, you can able to use the service 2. So no need to create about this one. No need to create. Okay. So whenever you are having the common system, for example, registration page, user is going to be register the data. Next, see registered users. So same service now. This service is the take it as a registration service. You can able to register the save the users, get the user. That's it. All these services should be connected to the one service called context. This service will be serve the incoming request. So this will be sent to your call to the API. So how this API is connected to the so on, so you no need to worry. We also going to be create some API on the Monday. The Monday sessions, in the next week, we're going to be create some API. Maybe possible on Friday or Saturday session itself, we will create an API. Sir, I don't know the API to be creation. I will explain. You no need to worry. Okay. So the incoming request will be come to index.html. This will be sent to index.js and app.js. Here take a note, arrow mark. So based on the incoming request, a specific component will be load. These specific components will be connected to the services. These services will connected to the context and API. And in the reverse way, the data will be come. So API 2, for example, like this. This component is called, this is called. In that case, it will become and load. It will become here, your virtual DOM will be created. This created virtual DOM will be loaded inside of your browser DOM and request will be served. Anybody having the questions on this flow? This is the exact real time how we need to be used. Okay. Yeah, Harish.
I have one query. It's like there are multiple components and multiple services, right? So each individual component can talk to any other service, or
that's why it's shown here
specific to
here. That's why it's shown here now. So in your requirement, sometimes you can able to depend on a service if you not depend on a service. Correct? So if you are depending on a service, you can able to call that service. Those services can be common. Okay.
Okay. We can create once and we can use multiple times,
yes.
right?
Services are the reusable units. The definition of service itself here, services are the reusable. Services are simply a files. These also a class array. So take it as a one more component. This is called a component 4. So this component is nothing but a specific reusable component file. It is not able to connect to any service. Okay. So here coming to the service, each component is required a service means based on the situation. So the component is responsible to connect the API at the situation you require. So whenever you are having the common functionality, for example, I created two components. One component for the users to be registered, second component to display the number of users. At the time, the purpose of these both components are same. Na? You can able to consume one service. Is it clear? Anyone?
Yeah, I got some idea now. Thank you.
Okay. So service is the file whenever you need to be connect to the API call. Otherwise, service not be coming to the picture. Service is nothing but just to service. So we are going to sit in the hotel. We need some service. Na? Either self-service means self-service is not depend on any component, any service. These are the self. Okay. So these are the not self. They have to be dependent. Okay. So this is our React.js application flow. Sir, only 3 components. No, we may have the nested components, different types of relations of a component. All these components we will see. Not only these services, you are going to have the context services, global service, and shared service, local service, root service. Different categories of services also is there. But this is the outer React.js application picture, how an application flow will be. If I take this component, this can able to have the nested component. If I take this service also have the nested service. Okay, but no need to worry by this moment. Okay, we need some time to be understand. Everything will be understand by. Can I clear the drawing?
Sir, I have one query.
Yeah, Harish.
It's like if we have already existing service and we are going to create, for example, new component. So
we can able to consume that service. Service is the separate file. So if you want to use the existing one, but here I'm saying that one, a component whenever depend on the data, it has to be connected to the service. The service is the existing service. The service can be the new service, whatever it is.
Okay. Yeah, got it. Thank you.
See, in the situation also component 2, service 2 is created. Okay. Component 3, no need to create a service, separate service. You can able to consume. Okay. Yes, please take the diagram. Here also make that points. Okay. So here we are saying about the components are 2 types. Functional and class components. So these functional and class components, what type of the scripting we are going to use? For example, React.js is a library. For example, if you take it as Angular is a framework. For example, if you take a .NET is a framework, Java is the framework, Python is the one more different framework. So if you are dealing with any such a libraries of the framework, you need to have a one language. So for example, any .NET guys are here. What is the .NET language we are using?
C#.
Perfect. Java people?
Core Java.
Java. Next, Python?
Python.
So in general, other than the .NET, so same names are there. Python using the Python language, .NET only the language. .NET having the 64 languages. Okay, .NET was implemented on the top of the existing Java. So here I'm saying the .NET means .NET from the Microsoft. So there is a role of Microsoft here also in the JavaScript. So what is the language for this React.js application?
TypeScript.
So JavaScript. You can able to use the TypeScript also, But most 99% projects of React.js applications are the JavaScript. Total it is dealing about a JavaScript. What is the difference between JavaScript and TypeScript is nothing but a small syntax changes. That's it. Very, very small syntax changes. TypeScript is the sugar coded on the top of a JavaScript. So JavaScript is a scripting language to develop what type of applications? Responsive and user interactable applications. Okay, take the definition. JavaScript is a client-side programming language, and it is interpreted programming language. So what is mean by interpretation? Or else interpret, or else compilation. For example, I'm going to be explaining from here. So through the mobile or through the laptop, you are seeing, watching my class, right? So how you are watching? For example, in my home, I'm speaking something else. I'm talking about the technology. You are able to listen. How you are going to be listen? You need a interpreter. What is your interpreter? To listen your headset. So we are using a Zoom. We are using a Zoom. Zoom is nothing but a compiler or interpreter between you and me. So whatever I'm going to deliver from my side, you are going to be received. This is nothing but interpretation. So what is mean by Chrome nowadays? Now everybody know about a Chrome is a what is a Chrome? Web browser. IE is a web browser. After this session, Chrome is not a, tell about anybody asking as a technically, Chrome is not a web browser. Chrome is a compiler. Chrome is a one type of compiler, IE is a one type of compiler, but all these compilers having the same logic internally. Sir, why so same logic? Where have the different compilers means? That is the business. If you want to use the Google means they need to be develop a one compiler. So now tell me what is the Chrome? All these are web browsers are a compilers. JavaScript is understood by the browser. If you say hi, you can able to print on UI. Welcome to React.js sessions, session number 3. How you are able to understand? So ultimately it has to be loaded inside of a compiler, right? So in today's session, I'm giving a question to everyone. Okay. So browser is what type of a compiler? Browser is a compiler, and what type of a compiler? Tomorrow I will explain about a compiler and compiler types. In all technologies, a specific compilers are there and specific types of compilers are there. So browser, this browser is not a browser. So functionally it is calling as a browse. Search something is called as a browser. We are calling it as a browser. So browser is ultimately loading a website now. So if I open Amazon, you are able to see the Amazon. So how you are able to see this Amazon data? On your screen. So if you want to display on your screen, ultimately your computer has to be understand in the machine language. Nowadays machine language is too famous. So machine language, machine learning, right? So how the machine has to be understand, but still fully focusing on the machine language. No, JavaScript is the one type of machine language. Not only the Python for the machine language, JavaScript also machine language. .NET also machine language. All languages are the machine language only, but people are saying you to be motivated and changing your ideology, shifting from one place to another place. But I will not give like that. All are the machine language. Machine has to be understand, then only perform. That's right. Okay. So JavaScript also one type of machine language, but this JavaScript user what type of compiler to be convert? JavaScript is understandable with browser. So now have this question and come with tomorrow. If you check in Google also, perfect. No need to worry. Browser use what type of compiler? So browser is nothing but a compiler. Browser is nothing but one type of compiler. That's it. It has to be compiled with HTML, CSS, JavaScript. But that compiler understand only HTML, CSS, JavaScript. So take this question and come up with the solution. Okay. So our React.js application is using a React.js application using a language as a JavaScript. Okay. Even your Angular also internally it is a TypeScript. TypeScript is from the JavaScript only. So ultimately JavaScript is the main focus one. JavaScript contains the statements. What are the types of statements? Comments, data types, functions, classes, statements, expressions, keywords, all these things. Okay. So already yesterday we taken what JavaScript content. So now let us start with the JavaScript. So in this session we will see about the JavaScript data types. Next we'll start with the JavaScript functions. Take a heading, data types. So I will give the data types common to the all the system. First, let us give the data types common to the all the systems. What is mean by data type? Holds the type of data. Data types are used to hold your type of a data. That's it. The responsibility of data types is to hold some data. If you open yesterday I shown how data type will be there inside of the developer tools. Okay. So the way you are going to get here is the totally different which you see in other places, because we are in the real time we're going to be dig into the client missions, we're going to dig into our system. So the way we are going to approach is totally different. So as per that as per the real time how we are going to be treat like application same like that. So doctor called a person patient. So this is nothing but your coding. So doctor will not treat it like he's a so and so person. No, everybody is a patient. So everything is a logic for you. How many types of data types? In general?
2 types.
Primitive, yes, data type and non-primitive. Primitive and non-primitive. So let us draw a diagram. Please take this diagram. So let us go for a little slow for a week. If you're facing still fast, if you're facing still slow, let me know. We'll change that. But initially, let us go week. Okay. Take a heading. Data types. How many data types are there? Primitive and non-primitive. Another name of primitive are value type. Second one is the non-primitive or reference type. So everybody is saying one common word. Sir, I know the JavaScript very well, sir, but still I'm failing at the logics. If you know very well, how will fail? So if you are be confident on it, if you are 100% strong on it, data types and functions, the JavaScript very easy. But nobody is not concentration on this one. What is the difference between object and array also? Sometimes they are saying about object, there is in the curly braces, square bracket. Okay. So all this will be get right out from you. Okay. You are going to get a pure subnet. So data types are the 2 types. What are those? Primitive are a value types, non-primitive are a reference type. What are there inside of primitive?
Float,
Integer, float, decimal.
Char, character,
integer,
boolean, and number. This number can be integer, float,
and decimal,
or double or decimal, everything. All this will be command. Number, it can be an integer, it can be a float, it can be a decimal, it can be a. So in your keyboard, whatever the number is going to be, say all this part of this one. Next, non-primitive means characters are represented by strings. String is a type of non-primitive. Next. Next type, object.
Object.
Next type is, so remember this order also, please remember, this is also order also important. Next one is the array. Next one is the array. The last one is the class. So there is a predefined data type, so primitive and non-primitive type. There is a third type of data type also is there. That is a user-defined data type. That user-defined data type is nothing but a class. But as of now, all peoples are, in the direct JavaScript site or direct .NET site, peoples are categorizing this is a part of a non-primitive. Okay, the actual three types. One is the system defined, second one is user defined. In the system defined, you are having the primitive and non-primitive. So as a technically, while we are dealing with the clients now, so at that time we are going to be say user defined, system defined or user defined. That's it. These are defined by the systems. So data types, char, boolean, number. Take this one. Characters are represented by, in JavaScript, what are the syntax?
Mostly we will use let and var keyword.
Correct. Hope everybody done with this diagram. Can we go to the syntax? So if you want, you can able to take a screenshot. In general, technically, if you talk, data types are two types. One is the system type, second one is user defined. System are again categorized the primitive, non-primitive. Just if you are the 10+ or experienced people, so have that point in our mind. But in general, people are saying the primitive and non-primitive only. Character, boolean, number will be a part of primitive. String, object, array, class is the non-primitive. Can I clear? Hope everybody done. Hope everybody taking the notes, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Can I clear? Still anybody taking? Okay. So what is the syntax to represent all these data types? In JavaScript is a dynamically typed data. There is no specific type. All are the dynamically typed programming language. JavaScript is a dynamically typed programming language. All the data types are represented by var before ECMAScript 5th version. So either var or let or a constant. So all are represented of the var, let, a constant. How can able to say so and so type? In JavaScript, data type of a variable is defined by using, in JavaScript, data type of a variable is defined by using, by assigning data or assigned data. Take it as by assigned data. For example, var a is equal to 10. So now a is a type number. Next, same a is equal to some name. Now tell me what is the a here? Now a is a string. Okay, same variable also can. That's why it is saying the dynamically typed programming language. There is no specific type. Whatever the data you are giving, na. So when we completed our bachelor, na, so while in the interview, we will say, na. So however you are going to be mold, sir, I will mold it. Okay. So tell me some characters about what we will never mold. We will say that one. So I'm like a water. Tell me compare to so and so. I'm like a tree. I will give a shelter to. I'm like a water. I will mold however you want to be molded. Okay, but the JavaScript is molded like that, but we will not mold. Okay, so syntax var variable name. So whenever I assign the less than greater than symbol is nothing but in the syntax point of view, it is mandatory data. Remember this one. While you anybody asking to write a syntax means where a is equal to 10, don't be write like this. Where variable name, so less than greater than symbol is nothing but a mandatory. For example, I can able to write like this. Where name is equal to. So here assigning the name is not a mandatory. That's why we kept inside of a square braces. Square braces are nothing but optional. If you don't know, add that one. Less than greater than symbol are mandatory terms. Square braces are not mandatory, optional. Okay. Sir, in this situation, how to check a type of a variable? You were saying that it is a so and so type. How to check a type of a variable? Check data type of a variable. What is the syntax? Anyone? Type of is a keyword to check, so it will be give. Okay, let us see practical. Yes, give me one more minute. We'll close the session. Huh? So go to the console. Here you can able to type var first name is equal to enter. F name is equal to Krishna is there. How to check a data type? Type of F name is a string. So F name is a string. Can I assign a is equal to 10? Can I do? So now check me type is a number. Sir, how it is possible? So that's why I'm saying the definition JavaScript is the dynamically typed. Okay. So is that clear? First tell me how to open this developer tools. So remember this point, if you know the subject or not, no need to worry. How to work with the developer tools, if you know this, if you know 70% of your work is completed. If you are able to know about developer tools and the debugging, your 70%, if you know the subject are also, that is a primary. But before that one, you need to know about this developer tools. How to launch the developer tools? Take this one if you want. Go to the browser, right click, inspect, or press F12. It will open the developer tool. We are going to see all these developer tools. What is element, console, source, okay, network, performance, memory, application. Here you are having the cookies. Here you are having the storages. Okay, all these things we are going to be see. So how your network calls will be go? What are the things to be import? But what is the need of a JavaScript? Without a JavaScript also, we can able to develop applications. Without a separate JS files also. There is a reasons. All these things. Here you can able to track the performance of your pages also. Everything. Okay, including performance also we're going to see. Okay, we're going to see more than that one, which I mentioned in my website. Okay, so take this one. So create a variable. These are the things. Okay, so by today, what you do now? Try to complete. So initially I require the 1 or 2 sessions for these theoretical sessions. Once you perfect, so today's session we are seeing about the data types. We'll dig into the data types. So how to deal with the character, how to deal with the number, how to deal with the array, how to deal with the object. Object and array are the heart of React.js application. Your 90% of React real-time work is on the top of object and array only. Object and array. Okay. So array means nothing but a collection of the data. You are not going to deal with single employee. Multiple employees are their collection. Single employee is their object. No need to worry. I will give exact situations and categorize. Okay, done. Okay, so let us take a questions what I have seen today. So today I will create that lab link. So please text me. Everyone, I will send you that lab link. Whatever you complete, post those labs. So I will review the code. So by this, you not only learning the code, I will go and give the review comments also. But try for the different ways. So whatever I explain, if you do same thing means no comments. Okay, so I will call you and give the comments. So and so, if you are using that is well. If you try to use this one, this is the more performant. What we have seen today, React.js application flow. So how your React.js application will be work. Next, what is mean by data type? Next, data type types. Next, type of keyword. What else we have seen? So try to write all these questions separately at back of your book or somewhere else. Next, React.js entry component. Okay. Lab. So okay, everybody is done with this creation of React.js application. So not only printing the name, next inspect, verify data types in div tools. Verify the some data types in a div tools. That's it. Himaja, Mukesh, Neeraj. So are you able to complete yesterday and the day before yesterday labs? Samrat, చేస్తున్నారా? Done.
Yes.
Team, that's it for today.